Hello everyone, Livery here and welcome back to another review for Railway Model Store. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transport for Wales Class 67 by Hornby, which is a fairly recent release. I believe it released last month. We have a number of these left, currently on sale at £165, which is about 20 quid off the RRP, which isn't too bad. So yeah, let's just get into it. So obviously, as usual, you've got your standard Hornby box for Hornby Railways. You've got picture loco on the front here, logos up in the top corner, minimum radius, OO gauge, and as you can see here, it's Transport for Wales Class 67, 67014. You've got the roof of the engine on the roof, as well as a logo. On the end, you've got your slightly more technical details. You've got your SKU code there, which is R30089, and you've got your barcode. You can see it's DCC Reading. I believe it's a 8-pin decoder. It is an 8-pin decoder. And then on the back, obviously, you've got a bit of information there. So if you want to read that, feel free to pause it. On the back, we've also got the technical drawing and then the route availability code there as well. So let's get it out of the box. I'm not going to demonstrate the opening of the box as, well, come on, we all know what it is by now. I just wanted to show you the detail parts back. So you see we've got a mix of couplings here. We've got the slightly wider hook coupling and then a bit of a thinner hook coupling there. And you see it also comes with some ploughs and a decent bit of extra detail parts as well, which is really cool to see. So you can add these on if you feel, which is really nice. And they look quite well painted as well, actually. I quite like the look of these. Okay, so now the Class 67 is out of the box. We can take a little bit of a closer look on it. The first thing that comes to mind is I'm not convinced on that grey. I've seen these in real life and they look more white, but that might be my eyesight or the lighting of the sun or something. But yeah, so if we just start looking at the front as usual, we can see there's a decent bit of detail here, nothing spectacular though. So up at the top, we've got a light and a couple vents on either side here. We've got the orange can trail, the two wipers. You can see that the window's surrounded by some red, which then goes down to the yellow warning panel where you've got your DB logos, you've got your warning stickers for the overhead wire, you've got some jump cables for multiple unit working, and obviously for working with the Mark IV coaches, as these do in real life. Further down you've got the buffers, which are sprung, and there would be a coupling here obviously, but I haven't attached it. And you can also see there's a bit of a white bar here as well, which I believe is something to do with the coupling. So yeah, not particularly, you know, it's not a ton of detail, but I'd say for the price it's pretty much adequate for a Hornby model anyway. So if we start taking a look closer on the side here, we can see we've got 67014 in white. We've got the bottom of the engine, which is in a dark grey. We've got our grey in the middle here, the main part of the livery, and then you've got your red stripe that goes along the top there, as well as the orange cantrail as well. So on the door you can see it's pretty well moulded. You've got two white handles painted on there, as well as the silver handrails. You can see down here we have the Class 67 data panel. This bit here, part of the buffer beam, is actually made out of metal. I can feel that it is die cast. Which explains why this model is so heavy. So when I got it out of the box, it really did weigh quite a lot, which is obviously a good thing, because, you know, the heavier it weighs, the more traction it's going to get when it's running on your layout. So that's always a good thing. So quite a hefty model, this one. So also here we've got a step for the step ladder, and you can see that continues down onto the bogies here, just about. The bogies aren't particularly high detailed, there's no colour on them, it is just black moulding. I'm convinced there should at least be colour on the axle boxes, but there we go. So the bogies, they're pretty good. You can see you've got the springs in there, the step ladder, and brakes and all that, and various bits of piping. But yeah, so here we've got a decal. I'm not sure what that says, I can't quite make it out, but we've got a decal there. I presume it's some sort of warning decal, and then we've also got a yellow decal just above my finger there. We've got another OHLE warning sticker. And then we can move on to the rest of the side. You can see, as is true of the Class 67, it's got a very, very long sort of ribbed side, I suppose is the way to describe it. We've got a pair of black vents here, and then further along we have another section of vents here. And we've got a maintenance door inside, which is quite nice. Again, this black bar along the bottom is rather cold, so I'm presuming it has got a die-cast body, as previously mentioned, which is really, really cool. We've got a couple more warning decals here. Just above my fingers there's a red one and a white one, and then further down if we look at the electrical boxes, you can see we've got some warning stickers there, and then some yellow markings there as well on the fuel tank. So let's just flip it around now, and we'll take a look at the other end of the loco. Okay, so let's take a look at the other end of the loco. Cab is the same, obviously. It's just, you know, a dual cab engine, so it's going to be the same either side. So we've got the same detail there. We've got the light, cantrail, the wipers, jump leads, OHLE warning cables, the number 67014, and of course the lights, which do light up, but you'd expect that as standard on a model of this price. But if we look, so obviously the slight only detail variation really on this side is that the other side has 2 sets of vents, whereas this only has 1 set of vents by the engine here. And if we just take a look at the roof, we can see there's a decent bit of detail there. You can see we've got the black mesh covering the engine, and you can also, there's a decent bit of moulding in there, various bits of silver in there, which is really cool. So I like this bit. There's a decent bit of detail on the roof here. And of course, moving further along, we've got some hatches here to open and get access, obviously. And then even further back, we of course have the exhaust pipe, and then we've also got a bit of black detail there, which I think is a radio box. Could be wrong though. So yeah, I mean that's that. Quite a cool looking model. Let's get it down onto the track now. Okay, so overall I think this is a really solid model. It's got a decent amount of detail for the price. It's not super expensive. It's also not super cheap, but I think by Hornby standards this is a pretty good model. I'm still not convinced on the colour, but I think that could maybe be my eyesight. So let me know in the comments what you think on the colour of that if you have seen this in real life. But yeah, no, I think it's a great little model. I would be getting one for myself if I was still actually into trains. But I've got other things to buy, like Toyotas, so I would get one if I had the spare money. But unfortunately I don't. But again, so we've got this available at £165, which is pretty decent for this model. So it's on sale this week. So depending on when you watch this video, it'll either be 165 or 175. Remember, of course, you can get a discount with code RMSYouTube. So thanks very much for watching.